Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I have another speed build for you, and this one is a mid-century modern home inspired by a real-life house in California. The home is located on 27 Edgemont Circle in Walnut Creek, which is really funny because it sounds like Willow Creek, but it is like this beautiful mid-century home with like somewhat of a modern interior and a lot of open light, and it's very warm. And I saw this house on TikTok. There's this guy that always like tours homes that are up for sale, and I love to watch them because a lot of them are really nice. And this house had like the floor plan and like a walkthrough online, so I looked at it and I was like, I should build this in The Sims because it's a really beautiful home. I did adjust the floor plan slightly because of the lot that I chose in Oasis Springs. The home is kind of vertical in the floor plan, but I adjusted it so that it would be more horizontal, if that makes any sense. I tried recreating a lot of the interior in the house because I thought it was so beautiful, but I did struggle a lot because of the limitations of The Sims, so I did have to make some adjustments. And the home is 4 bedrooms and 2.5 bathrooms, but I used one of the bedrooms as an office, and there is a giant garage that is purely decorative, so if you want, you could change that into something else, like an activity room or like a workshop area. It just has like cars in it, and the house also has like this living room that's kind of like a sunroom, and there's also a sort of lounge casual family room that I really loved. You'll see that later. I really wanted to show a lot of light in this house, so there's a lot of windows. This house uses a lot of custom content. I will link all of it down below, but I also tried to use a lot of base game, especially because of the new update. It had like these new glass windows that are like really nice, sleek, simple windows, which I thought were a great addition to the game. And I did use all of the packs I own. All of this will be linked down below if you do want to download the house. I don't know if you noticed, but I did this little trick with the fireplace where I used these items from Get Together, which are from like the ruins, but I used them to make it like look like a stony chimney. I thought that was super cool. So onto the inside of the house. So this is the living room. It's kind of like a sunken living room, which I love. One thing about The Sims though, it like leaves a weird trim at the bottom whenever you do like something with different levels, but I thought it was kind of like a nice detail to have stone on the bottom, so I left it like that. And I did like this wall that's kind of open shelving, so you like see through to the living room when you're from the kitchen. And lastly, I added some lighting. The interior has a lot of warm colors because I wanted it to feel like fancy and like expensive, but still cozy. That's like the main vibe I was going for. I've been really into mid-century modern lately. I don't know why. I've been like super obsessed with it. So I really wanted to build a mid-century modern house. I just love how it's modern, but still nice and warm and livable, if that makes sense. I don't like contemporary style or like the boring modern interior design style. I think colors work best when you're going for modern. For the kitchen, it's kind of small actually, but like not really. The original house had updated countertops and like a pretty white kitchen, but I wanted it to look more retro, so I decided to use these tiled countertops from Pierre Sim. I thought the tiled counters really matched the vibe, and then I made this U-shaped island situation. And it's connected to like this open dining room area. This is where you enter the house, so I thought it was really nice. I don't know if you can tell, but there's like this giant glass block wall for separation from the entryway to the dining. I thought that was really nice. In the real house, there's like this cooler entryway situation, but I wasn't able to recreate it. Instead, I decided to do like a separation with glass blocks because I know that was a really popular thing in the mid-century. So I thought I might as well include it, and I thought it was cool that I was able to find custom content of a glass block and that they're stackable. I was also inspired by some inspo pics that I found on Pinterest with glass blocks, so I decided to go with that. So this is the lounge area. I actually was debating on whether or not to have a TV in the home because it didn't really fit in that sunroom living room area. So I decided to build this whole other room instead because I thought that made more sense. Because when you're watching TV, you don't want the insane amount of glare. So I made like this room off to the side with less windows and more of like a media family room. It has like a game console, bunch of speakers. I would imagine this room has like a lot of soundproofing. And for the family, I pictured 2 parents and 2 teenage kids. For the parents, I imagined a musician father and a business woman mother. That's the vision I had in mind. Obviously, if you download this house, you don't need to go with that. But that's what I pictured. I assumed that they were both like super successful because they're able to own such a nice house. And he has like this massive record collection with a jukebox, microphone. I just wanted this room to look fun. It has a bullseye. Is that what it's called? Darts. It has darts. I put some trophies, like these framed things, to allude to his success in the music world. And I really wanted a bar in this area. So I have like this bar with this glowing cabinet. I thought it was a really pretty piece. I would usually never put that in a house, but I thought it matched the vibe really well. Again, it matches the warm color scheme that I'm going for. A lot of browns, orange, and like yellow tones with like dark woods and black. Because now we're on to the primary bedroom. So this bedroom's kind of spacious yet small. I knew that since I wasn't having an office, I just dedicated a lot of it to like closet space, and it's just like a simple bedroom with like this sort of grand bed looking thing with the wood panel headboard and some seating space. I think it'd be cute if the mother was like a writer, a publisher, a journalist, something along that lines, or maybe she just has her own business. I think it makes sense or be kind of cute if they met in like the publishing world, because I feel like that's how you would come across a musician, some kind of love story like that. And I made the walls in here concrete because I thought it matched the vibe really well. Very like modern. I noticed that the base game actually added some pillows in the game for an update, which I thought was a very nice update. The game really needed it. The game has been out for over a decade now, and we're finally getting pillows, which is very nice. Thank you. I've been wanting those for so long, but I may or may not have not used them because the custom content pillows I have look nicer. No offense. This ensuite is very fancy. It has like this, what are these sinks called? It's just like a sink that extends like the entire counter space. I think I ended up putting cabinets under the sink, so there's some sort of functionality there. But now that I think about it, I'm not sure if that makes the sink usable or not. I may have to test that out. And it has like this freestanding tub with these hanging towels. Just very nice bathroom. Now we're on to the office, which is right next to the bedroom. And it's kind of a odd shape. It's L-shaped, but I figured that offered a good amount of privacy for an office. And I expected her to like have Zoom meetings or something. So I wanted her to have like a nice backdrop whenever she's on those meetings. So I put a couch in the background and like this decorative wall piece. I also made sure to add a lot of storage for books and clutter, everything like that. I use these blinds from what is it called? My Little Pet stuff. The Sims 4 stuff pack thing with the hamsters. It's kind of a useless pack in my opinion, but I did get it for free. And it has like these really nice blinds in it, which is interesting. But I used them, sized them down, and they look really good on a taller 1x1 window, because it looks like blinds that are drawn. The other blinds in the game are like full length, so they cover all the windows, which I don't want. I want it to look like the blinds are open. So you can use longer length blinds, size them down, and then boom, it looks like they're rolled up. I essentially kind of copied over similar furniture and plumbing for all of the bathrooms. So both of the bathrooms are pretty similar. Obviously one is a half bath and one is a full bath. I figured the two kids would share this bathroom because it has the shower, but it's nice to have that half bath in case for some reason everybody is using the bathroom at the same time. And I always picture a half bath to be like the ones you direct the guests to when you like invite people over. I kind of skipped past all of the cluttering because I essentially have the same formula. Whenever I do it, I just place down a bunch of items like all over the shelves, and then after I remove the shelves and then place them accordingly so that they look nice on the shelves. Because of the slotting mechanism in The Sims, they don't always place correctly or look good. So when you do it this way, you can control where they go. Now we're on to the kids' bedrooms. So for the kids, I imagined an artsy musician sim. I think a daughter. I think they would have one son, one daughter. That's what I imagined. But maybe one son, maybe that's a little bit stereotypical, but I imagined one of them to be athletic and one of them to be artsy and music oriented, just like their father. So this room is the artsy room. I did a lot of posters, this platform bed, a lot of instruments, some darker wallpaper, just to keep it feeling like a little teenage, because I feel like they're like emo at that age and want to be left alone in their room, like, you know what I mean? For the athletic room, I made it even darker with the furniture, dark bedspread, posters of like athlete stuff. There's like these framed jerseys, and I figured maybe the dad's super famous where he can get signatures from famous basketball players. I don't know. I added a bunch of stuff from City Living because it has a lot of gym stuff, which is nice. And this punching bag, is that what it's called? I don't know. This punching bag in the bedroom with some sports clutter. So this is the garage. I just put some clutter in here to make it feel like a garage, but it's all decorative. I used a lot of debug in there as well. There's like a broom where if you use the tool mod, you can rotate it and make it look like it's hanging on the wall. And finally, we're on to the exterior of the home. So I wanted it to feel pretty private. So I was debating on whether or not to have it fenced off, but I feel like if you're famous, you want privacy. So I added a fence and this paved garage with like clean cut lines for that modern feel. Usually I do like natural pathways, but for modern homes, I try to make it look more structured and grid-like. And I found these fences in debug, which I thought were perfect. It added a nice contrast to the home, which is already pretty dark. And I felt like these white fences were nice, and they have breeze blocks on them, which is a very mid-century modern thing. So I thought it was perfect. There's like this little basketball net in the front yard. For the landscape, I always try to make it look like the surrounding area, which of course we're in Oasis Springs. So it has a lot of palm trees, like low-lying trees, and like these cypress trees. I'm not too sure, with a lot of desert plants. So when you're in debug, I'm not sure if it's because of the mod I have, but there's specifically these plants that say that they're from Oasis Springs. So I made sure to use that and all of the cacti that are in base game, which I thought was really cute. And I did like this little tiny garden out front. It kind of reminds me of like a Zen garden almost, with like the plants placed in specific areas and like rocks and sand. That was my inspo. I also made sure to put a lot of landscaping by the living room because you want something nice to look at. Lastly, I added some outdoor lighting so it's not totally spooky at night. But it was kind of hard because I realized that The Sims doesn't have that much outdoor lighting. So I used these lights that I think are supposed to be for the inside, but they kind of looked like outdoor lights, so I went with that. And I added like this modern looking mailbox and these giant cacti. The other day I was walking around and I saw this ginormous cactus. It was like growing up to the electric lines, and I live in Hawaii, which is interesting to see like a ginormous cactus in Hawaii, but I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. I did not know that they grew that huge. Yeah, and I added these like rock paver things from Get Together to make it look more fancy, and some home traits. And that's basically the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.